Now, residents of Johannesburg and surrounding areas are in the midst of a 58-hour-long water shutdown. And apart from filling your bath and every container you possess with water so that you at least have enough for your hygiene and to freshen up, what more can you do? What are the considerations that you should put top of mind? Well, insurance may be a big one that you want to consider, but why is that? To help us answer this, we're joined by Sakina Ntuli from the King Price Insurance. Sakina, thank you so much for your time. And of course, the handy tips that do help to protect not only property but appliances as well. In particular, you make reference to shutting down your geyser in the event where there isn't a water supply. Why?
Morning. Thank you so much for having me, Cindy. So it's important to remember that if the geyser is empty, that the element could be damaged as a result of the geyser being on while it's empty. So it's really important that you make sure to switch your geyser off on the distribution board to avoid any loss.
Is that something that is communicated, particularly if you have a mortgage and your house is insured because of the fact that you hadn't fully paid it? So technically it still belongs to the bond. Is this something that is automatically insured, or do you have to take additional cover?
So what's important to remember is that your building insurance, if you are a homeowner, sometimes the bank may include it in your mortgage repayment, or you can take out separate cover on your own. So it's important to remember that you need to make sure that your building is covered and that your geyser is included in that building insurance cover, because sometimes it could be an additional optional extra to have your geyser insured.
Yeah, at this stage, it's not just a nice to have as in an optional extra. It's probably something that is quite imperative, considering the lack, the whole 58 hours of no water supply. How much more is this going to put an added burden on your already strained disposable income?
Well, the thing is, I can't say the exact implications on how it might affect your income or the strain that we're all facing on our income, but it's always important to make sure that you are covered, because it's better to have some cover than none at all, and your building is an important asset to have insured at all times. So if you need to just kind of stretch that budget a little bit more to make sure that you're safeguarding yourself, I would give that option to advisors to make sure that you definitely do that.
Yeah, but I mean, how much more cover does one really need besides the obvious one, your household insurance and your building insurance, car insurance, etc. Now we're even considering pothole insurance, because now your tires are probably going to be damaged because of the road infrastructure, and now you have to take insurance for your appliances as well.
We are struggling with our finances. I do agree with that. It's just always advisable to have cover in place, because you would be at a detriment if you have something happen and you don't have insurance cover.
So is there a comprehensive cover where you can say, I just want to cover the content of my household, the building itself, if the walls or the roof caves in, everything will be covered, including the kitchen sink?
You can take out building insurance cover as well as home contents insurance cover. And what's important to remember is that the more items that you have insured with one insurer on the same policy, the overall saving that you have on that policy. So it might not be as expensive as one would anticipate, but just make sure to give your insurer a call and find out what exactly it is you would be covered for your home contents as well as your building insurance.
But is it worth it, though, if your appliances are not necessarily new, and for some of us who are maybe not necessarily hoarders, but more penny pinchers? Your fridge has been around for 15 years, and I think there's been so many other newer models of it. What would you need to consider when you, get insurance for your appliances in terms of the age and durability or even its condition?
What's important to remember is that your home contents cover usually covers everything that is in your home that you would take with you should you move. So it's not necessarily that you are pinpointing exact items that you want to cover. It's all bundled under an insured value. So when it comes to the replacement value, it's always important to remember that you are replaced with items that are at the current replacement value. So even if your fridge or your microwave is a bit outdated, you still need to have insurance cover. The worst thing that can happen for you is not to have cover and have your fridge or your geyser or your microwave pack in, and then you have to take out an extra amount to replace that item on your own, where we're already finding ourselves in a real crisis when it comes to finances.
Yeah, but I mean, we know that insurance is a grudge purchase. Nobody looks forward to it necessarily, but you have to, as you're saying. But what happens in a situation where you have to make a choice between whether you fill up the tank, for example, or get in additional cover? Can you take cover that is only for, in this case, you know, the duration of the water outage, if anything were to happen, like short-term insurance?
I can't answer that question. Short-term insurance is a month-to-month basis, so it's not necessarily that you can just take, or that you should, or recommended that you take cover just for the interim. It's what you can do is just find out from the insurer, give them a call, find out what options they have available and the cover options, because there might be a cover that suits your budget but still gives you adequate cover for the necessities in and around your home.
Yeah, but maybe that's something to consider. If it's a pay-as-you-go type of insurance cover that only deals with the immediate situation, I don't know, Sakina. I will take your wisdom and expertise on this one. But Sakina Ntuli, thank you. She's from King Price Insurance, saying that be careful, especially where there is no water. Kindly switch off your geyser because this could potentially damage the element. And also don't leave your taps running every time you test whether the water is back or not. That could potentially lead to unintended flooding of your home.